Let's start at the beginning. This is the Seven of Swords. And this is kind of the theft, the fear, could be gossip, all those negative things that others put out in the world that affects us. It is upside down. So it does feel like it may still be happening, but it doesn't affect you. You have somehow learned how to be neutral to other people's opinions. It also feels like you may have closed down to one or two people's opinions altogether, that it's just not valid for you anymore. So it almost feels like you're climbing into yourself. Now, if you are in a relationship, this may be what's happening in the relationship. So I encourage you to come out and speak your truth, but you may need to sit in there and disconnect for a minute until you get your head cleared a bit, Pisces. It does feel like there's a lot of energy, a lot of people around you right now. So it does feel like you need to float a little bit before you make some drastic decisions, but it does feel like taking some motion, doing some motion in beginning those decisions is kind of imperative. But it does look like you are trusting the journey a little bit more. You're floating a bit into the unknown. There is a whole bunch of orange cards here, orange on these cards. So it wouldn't surprise me if you're doing some physical healing of your body. Maybe something that you kind of ignored for a while is kind of knocking at your door, and something you cannot ignore. It does feel like it's a physical nature with all this orange happening. So it's time to heal yourself on a physical level a bit more, Pisces. The Hierophant here, he stands for tradition. He can stand for marriages as well, but it does look like your focus has been on either commitment or a promise or a tradition that you have had that is no longer working for you. It could be a relationship space, or it could just be the dynamics within your home that is not working, or your work. So it does look like things that you originally agreed to are no longer working for you. So it does look like you need to have a new agreement in present time, or release the old agreement altogether. What is on the distant past is the 2. Now this can stand for, it's a 2 of hearts. I'm sorry, 2 of cups, which can be 2 of hearts. So it may have something to do with your love space. It looks like it was focused in the past. It is right here near tradition. So you may be looking at either upgrading, releasing, or welcoming new love into your life. If you are in a committed relationship, it does feel like some changes have happened, that maybe some of them aren't that advantageous to you. So a new agreement must be brought into play for this commitment. But it does feel like you have been taking the brunt of a lot of the responsibilities in the relationship. Could be just in the household as well. This does feel like a personal level and not a work level, but it does feel like you have taken on a lot of responsibilities, more so than others in the home, whether it's financial, emotional, or physical. And now it's time to dole things out a little more evenly, or to release the agreement altogether and create a new. The Fool is in the main part here, and this is the beginning of the journey. So it does look like you have gone through some things in the last, I'd say, year, maybe even 18 months, and that you are ready to start things fresh. So it may, take a leap of faith, try something different. It could be a new job, it could be retiring, or leaving a relationship, or starting a new one. But whatever it is, it feels like it is brand new, and that you have to kind of gather your courage. It is along the line of tradition, so it may be creating a new agreement within your relationship that works a little bit better, that is more equally distributed. But it does feel like a lot of the responsibilities of the household or the family are laid directly on your shoulders, and it's been a little too much for you. It does feel like your physical self is suffering a bit. So if you can relieve yourself of some of these responsibilities that aren't yours, or that don't have to be done right away, it's time to make you the priority here, which seems to be a theme this month for all signs is really getting down to brass tacks, cleaning up our stuff before we start to clean up others. So this is basically lightening your load. You've taken on too much responsibility. It does feel like your physical self is being sacrificed a little. So it could be back problems, could be headaches. But I'm seeing the back part here needing a little attention. So you may need to do some exercises to get the kinks out, or just sitting in a sauna. But it does look like your earth suit needs a little attention, that you've been holding up the temple for a very long time and kind of neglecting your own health and your own wellness. So the devil is here, and that is a temptation. You know, for those of you who have embraced sobriety, it may be, you know, the temptation to drink again, or maybe you've been in therapy and have released a lot of anger, or not created, you know, relationships that are dysfunctional, and that might knock on your door again. It is just a test. So be aware. It is the basis of the beginning of things. So it does feel like a little test, maybe to go back to do things that were done in the past. Oh, you don't want to change that. You don't want to stop paying all the bills. You know, we like it when you pay all the bills. So it's just a little temptation. But the change is in the air, and it does feel like the motion of moving forward is more beneficial for you in the long run, even if it's a big sweeping change like a separation. So the Eight of Wands is here, and that's all those great ideas just spontaneously coming down from the heavens. It does feel like new opportunities for you. So once you pass this test and move this stuff out, it does look like new opportunities will be coming towards you. I'm feeling that it has to do with your passion, not so much your work. So, you know, if you're a dancer, maybe somebody offers you a part in a play to dance, or maybe you find the time to write that book, or really start that new diet, or make a commitment to exercise. But it does look like bright ideas, and your participation will be necessary. But once you clear out all this stuff, there's a whole bunch of things just waiting for you right behind. So, you know, one door opens, one door closes, another one opens. That's what's on the way. And it does look like you've already seen glimpses of it. So people may have asked for your expertise or your artistry, or to write an article. So there have been glimpses of this change over the last couple of months. The next one is the Swords. This is the Four of Swords. It does look like you have been losing sleep over this. So this may be a relationship problem. But it does look like you're losing a lot of sleep. You may not be eating well. It does look like when you are sleeping that you're getting lots of messages from the other side. So might I suggest that you put like a little dream journal next to your bed and write down the messages that you get, even if you know, don't recall all of them. You don't have to take a look at them. But I've been doing that recently, and it's just amazing all the information that comes to us while we're on the astral plane, and how it really does serve us on the present and physical plane. So it does look like your creature comforts are suffering. If you can move your body a little bit, maybe exhausted as well as validate, you might be getting some more sleep. And it does feel like you are not eating right at all. So be aware of the nutrition or the lack of nutrition that is happening. You need that fuel, so don't sabotage your body by not eating. The Empress is here, and you know, she is exalted. She can also stand for pregnancy or marriage. She's the creator. She creates things. So whether it's a garden or a baby, it does look like planting the seeds, all those seeds that you planted during you know, spring. It's time to use the growth of that creation. So it does look like new opportunities will be coming to you. It does feel like it's about your passion and not your work. But be aware, someone may be coming to you with news of pregnancy in the near future. engagement, marriage, things like this. But this is nurturing. This is nurturing something to fruition. And it may just be an idea that you are babying and nurturing to its full growth. But it is right here. So it is time to pay attention and really reflect on those projects that you would like to do, that you've wanted to do for a long time. Kind of put them off for other people's emergencies or drama or whatever have you. The 2 is on the other side here. You have twos in this reading, so it does feel like you are achieving or trying to achieve some personal balance. This kind of is the look out into the world and see the big picture. The 2 of Wands is finding your balance, relieving yourself of things that don't work for you anymore, embracing the things or keeping the things and the good memories that do. It also can stand for travel. He's looking out into the future, so it's travel in the future. There is some red here around his head, and I'm feeling that you may be susceptible to headaches or pressure in your head recently. If you can maybe meditate for 5 minutes or just relax somehow, and just take that 5-10 minutes for yourself to just find your zen, that will help with the physical pressure that's happening around your head. But it does look like you have made a determination, or you have made a decision to release some of these agreements that no longer work for you. And this looks like a very old agreement. So it could be husband and wife, could be child. You could be kicking your kid out or having one come back. But it does look like an old agreement that no longer serves in the future. And he is turning his back on that. So it does look like releasing yourself from that agreement, whether it's a marriage, a job, some kind of burden that has not been working for you for a while. Chris. Okay, enlightenment and discovery. Let's use those 2. So it does look like it's time for you to use all that intuition that has been gifted to you by spirit. You are very, very in tune with yourself and others. Trust your intuition over and above what other people are telling you. And it does feel like you have a sense of discovery, that you are reborn or born again, but not so much in like the traditional Christian Judeo way, but just discovering who you are, separate from a lot of the chaos that has been going on. So that is probably why you have emotionally been separating from the daily jive that seems to be around you, but are created by others. So it's really time to discover who you are now, and what your journey is. It does look like you are a healer. So physician, heal thyself. So it's time to use that enlightenment, trust your intuition, step forward into your greatness.